All right, let's start with an issue that has been dogging residents for the longest time. It's the county zoning rewrite.
Yes, actually it's not, zoning as an issue in general has been a part of Greenbelt's life for decades. Greenbelt has always pushed back when county officials wanted to change zoning that would somehow affect the quality of life, whether higher density housing, housing or commercial area too much, whatever.
Right. Bring changes that we are powerless to fight, right?
Yeah. Yes, right. And so we do what we can to fight them. So here's the thing. This zoning rewrite was agreed on in October of 2018 by Prince George's County, and likely it will be voted on at the next election, not this upcoming one, but November 2020. This focuses on how you can educate yourself about just what the changes are going to be. The article is mostly about resources, online resources, but what impressed me, and it sounded real, not just sort of a dog and pony show, that the county is going to get out and about, setting up 300 meetings and hearings and all kinds of taking opportunities to inform the public, to answer questions, to hear, criticism.
And I like the idea that you can look at maps of the same place, and just by scrolling left or right, you could see old and the new and compare back and forth. And
exactly right. We have two of those in the article, but we have the website. You can go there and look at your own neighborhood, see whatever. And so that's what this article talks about. And so really the take-home message for me in this article is, okay, folks, we've got over a year. If you are at all concerned about zoning, about high-density housing, about commercial areas, land use, now's the time to start doing your homework.
And I think one of the biggest concerns with some of the people that I spoke with was the NCOZ, the Neighborhood Conservation Overlay Zone, and that is still, those negotiations will begin shortly, and I was kind of surprised that Mount Rainier and possibly Bowie are in that mix.
I was surprised as well. So that refers to what's now GHI, the historic Greenbelt, and it's at that overlay zone that would seek to preserve the historic nature of that area so that it stays as it is. So yeah, at least it's mentioned, it's on the table, and the discussions are ongoing.
And we have plenty of Greenbelters who've made it really plain whenever county officials come along that this is an important issue for them.
There should be no doubt about where many Greenbelters stand on that issue.
So we have a county council election coming up on Tuesday, November 5th.
Yeah, city council, absolutely. And this edition of the paper, there were many articles that deal with it. The first one I want to touch on is that, where does time go? But amazingly, this on October 12th, Saturday, October 12th, early voting opens. Go to the article, you can go online to the city site and you can see the details. It's pretty easy. There'll be a place to vote on the east side of town at Schramm Hills Park Clubhouse, in the center of town at the Municipal Building, and on the west side of town at Spring Hill Lake Rec Center.
The city's making it incredibly easy to vote. The little bit that I noticed was that at the Municipal Building, that not only does it start on that Saturday, but on weekdays after that during normal office hours. So there's no excuse for not making it, right?
Yeah, about 2,000 people out of our population of 24,000 voted in for the last city council election. We were chatting, you mentioned that 18% or so, which is a very low turnout. And so there's an opportunity for people to, there's really no excuse not to vote. And then also absentee ballots. They will become available on Wednesday, October 16th. So there's another opportunity to vote. So that's one piece. And then let me just comment, So the whole acting out and enacting of democracy in our community, it's not just about voting, it's also about becoming educated, about informing yourself about what the issues are, or at least what your elected officials or those running for offices think the issues are.
Right, with that freedom comes that responsibility.
Right. And hopefully a privilege, because those issues, in theory, and I think in reality, affect your quality of life. You know, from the schools our children go to, you know, how land is used. So Maglev, that pops up. Almost every candidate is clear in their opposition to that. But there are a lot of other issues. Public safety and the policing is a common issue. Several development projects that either are needed or have been delayed, such as the trail, the pedestrian trail from Greenbelt Station to the Greenbelt Metro. Those are other issues. We have a couple of articles where they answer the question, what do you think the issues are? And then we also covered an event that happened at Greenbrier on the east side, a candidates forum. So good opportunity to see what the issues are, see what the candidates think about the issues, and then say, what do I think? Where do I stand?
And lastly, there was City Council met with the Forest Preserve Advisory Board, and they had some edits to the city code that are concerned with the Forest Preserve, right?
Yeah, they've been working on these edits, which in some cases, some sections were a complete rewrite for about the last 3 years. The Forest Preserve Advisory Board has been around since 2007, and it's their job to make sure that resource, the Forest Preserve, is well managed, which is, I guess, the term that we've been using up to now. One of the biggies, at least for me, in this report by this board, is that they want to change the word maintenance, maintain, or manage to stewardship, to become stewards. Sort of it's a broader, it's a bigger view of what it means to care for this vibrant, dynamic ecosystem that is our forest preserve.
And a little gem in a huge urban area, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, right.
They also spoke about the distinction between a forest preserve and a public park, and that kind of dovetails into the whole stewardship issue, I think, right?
Yeah, and I hadn't thought about this point before, that a forest preserve certainly is for use or in the enjoyment by the public, by citizens, by residents, but it's not just that. It also is for the sake of preserving a forest, preserving an ecosystem, that there are benefits to a society, to our community, to have that there. So it's for us to appreciate, but it's also simply to be there.
Great. Well, thank you for bringing us up to speed on things happening in Greenbelt this week.
My pleasure.